I'm just going to wait and see if we get any more people in, but I'll probably just start anyway. So hello everybody, welcome. Today is the very first in Tinker Tuesday, and today I thought I would kind of make a few bits and pieces and we can just sit, chat, do a little bit of crafting and tinker really. But to start off with, if you do not know who I am, my name is Katie, and I love everything crafty. I design jewelry, I love paper craft, I just love recycling, upcycling, I love fashion. So of course I do have another channel, so that's Poppy K over on YouTube as well, if you want to go over there. I do thrift hauls, I go around the charity shops, sometimes I upcycle clothes as well, so if you want to pop over there, that's a fantastic way of kind of getting in with the recycling community. But today I am going to be going through and showing you how I have kind of created this sort of look here. So as you can see here, we've got a recycled can, and here is the recycled can. I've got a little bit of wire work going on. We've got some paper crafting, we've got stamping, inking and things like that. So I am going to show you what I'm doing in the process and things like that, and probably just keep nattering away as well. So I will say I was inspired by Laura Binding, and she has a Facebook group, and it's Crafty 11sies on Facebook, and she's been playing about with alcohol inks all week, and I've just sort of been influenced and inspired by that, and that's what has inspired this, and you'll be able to see. So this is how we create this, through some alcohol ink. So let's get started. So I'm just going to literally pop you down onto my work surface here, and then we can get going. So I'm just going to pop you just down there. Hopefully that is okay, and we can see, yes, we can see what we are doing. That is amazing. Right then, so I'm just going to pop him over here. Now, to start off with, obviously you're going to require your drinks cans. Now I've literally just cut the tops and the bottoms from the drinks cans. I use some tin snips for this, but you've got to be very careful, because if you see here on this one, it's just, you could get like burrs. So after I do that, after I've cut them, the bottom and the top away, I usually just go in with some craft scissors and just cut the burrs off. So the next step is to create the wings, and to do that, and the heart as well, to do that I have used these two new embellishments, and these are by Tim Holtz. Now everything that I'm going to show you today is basically, I've bought everything, so nothing is sponsored. There's nothing, you know, that is not mine basically, and these are his new releases. So this is the embellishments by Tim Holtz, and they're a 3D kind of like, they emboss and cut all in one go. And I can show you the inside here. If you see here, we have got the embossed section. I'll just move him there. We've got the embossing section on this side, so you've got your emboss, and then you've got your deboss on this side, and then you've got your cutting plate just around the top here, like so. So then when you place in your card or your or the metal that we're going to be using, then you pop that down and pop that through your die cutting machine, and then obviously it will cut it out, and then this is what you have got. So if I just show you here, this is what you're going to be left with. And as you can see, I just show the camera there, you've got a lot of beautiful kind of embossing, but it's very, very 3D as well. So, you know, and it's on different levels, so you've kind of got a really nice sense of texture and kind of depth in there as well. So as you can see here, it is literally just a drinks can, and because it has gone through the cut and emboss, it actually smooths out the edges really, really nicely. Now, something else I've actually done with this is last week I created this shibori style necklace. I hand dyed the silk myself, popped on this beautiful labradorite here, whether or not you'll be able to see the, there you go, the labradescence is absolutely incredible. I've got hematite and seed beads, and then I've literally just used on the top here the wings there, and then I've created these Tyvek beads, which I do have a video on my YouTube channel, so if you want to pop and have a look at that, then you can do. So that is what I have done with that one. So that's, again, as I say, with the I don't know what it's called. I don't think it's actually called anything. The number is 664248 if you would like to get those. And then the next part, which is going to be the heart section here, is this heart here. Now again, it's the same principle as with the wings, and as you can see here, we've got the same kind of thing. So we've got your clover leaf, and we've got a heart as well, a nice heart, and it all, you know, does it all for you. It's absolutely amazing, and I love the effects that you can get with those. So if I just pop that back there, so now we've got our heart and our wings. Oops, bring those down here. So now we've got our heart and our wings. Another thing that I did cut out, but now I can't find. Oh, isn't that typical? I had everything ready. But never mind, it doesn't matter. I'm sure it will turn up at some point, probably at the end of the video when I have changed my mind and used something else. Never mind. Where is it? No, and no, I cannot find it. Never mind. Right then, so I am going to go ahead and we are going to start to ink these little babies up. So I'm just going to bring in a little bit of card so then I don't make my glass mat really dirty. Now what we're going to do is, as I said earlier on, we are going to use some alcohol inks, but I'm also going to use some patinas as well. So I think I've got a whole load in front of me. I'm going to go in. So I have got the Verdigris patina by Ranger, and it's part of the vintage range. Was it vintage? Vintage. And then I'm going to go in with rust as well. And then let's see, espresso alcohol ink. Now, to use alcohol inks, you can use a number of different things. There is a tool like so that you can use for your alcohol inks, and then these are kind of like a pad that you can get to pop on the back. Or I have created this one out of a Jenga block, and you could do that and then pop that onto there. Or I'm literally just going to use today some bandage. So this is just some Common or Garden bandage. So, oh, I found the bit, that's all right. And that's something else that we've cut out there, and I'll show you what that is cut out from. That was what I was looking for. Right then, so I'm going to go in first of all. In fact, I shall also go in with some Cinnabar, I think, as well. So to start off, I am going to, in fact, no, I'm not. I need to get some paint. That's what I need to get. A bit of paint. That's the one thing I didn't get, was some paint. And I bet it's the one right at the bottom. Of course it is. There we go. Got me some paint. Right, and a paint brush. So I'm just using acrylic paint. So I'm just going to be using some acrylic paint before we put the alcohol inks on first. So I'll just give that I'm literally just going to pop that onto my brush like so, and then I'm just going to brush the paint onto our wings. So this kind of, it's not going to give it full coverage. This is a bit like a little bit of a wash, just to kind of add a little bit of texture again. and it's gonna just give it a lovely kind of take the aluminium sheen off. So I'm just gonna pop that on like so. So we've got that onto there, and then with the heart I'm going to use some red acrylic paint. So I won't bother cleaning my brush because we don't need to make it too neat and tidy. So I'm now just going to pop this on. Now as you can see, it's a very, very vibrant red, and in a second I'll show you the finished product that we have, and you'll see that it's not so vibrant. So I'm just popping that on. Like so. So we've got our two sections there painted. Just put that to one side there, and I'll just pop the brush elsewhere. So as you can see, if I show you this has obviously been painted, and we've used the alcohol inks and this one here, and I've actually got a heart ready to go here as well, and I've actually just kind of broken bits away from it just to make it look a little bit more antique. And I forgot to paint up this little guy as well, so we shall go ahead and do that. Oops, that's quite a lot of paint there. So I'm just gonna pop a little bit of paint on this, and then let that guy dry as well. So we let that dry, and I'm just going to pop that onto there. Right, so that's all that painted up. So now, because there wasn't that much of a layer, acrylic paint dries really quickly, so I'm just gonna kind of go over that a little bit, very lightly. And now we can go in with all of our patinas. So I'm just literally going to dot that onto, she says, just get my a bit clogged. There we go. Just gonna, there we go, drip that onto there, and then I'm just gonna dab randomly about, if you can see, just literally randomly dabbing. Like so, and we're just going to give that a nice little bit of sort of rust look to it. Do that again, and then just dab all along there. So that's all I'm going to do with that guy for now, and then add a little bit of verdigris. Now this is very, very bright, so I tend to just pop it onto my paper, which is why I always use a little bit of paper, and then I just literally go in, and you're kind of wanting to emulate the verdigris that you would usually get on copper and metal. So just keep doing that all the way around there, and as you can see there, it just kind of lifts it a little bit. So now I'm going to go in with some of our proper alcohol ink here, and this is espresso. A couple of drops of that, then you'll see a real nice kind of change to the aluminium. So if you want to, there you see you can get right up in between these sections, and then just give it, and you're not being too heavy because obviously you don't want to kind of break the firstly break the aluminium, not that it will, but you don't want to kind of ruin the emboss that you've just created there. So that's what we've got there, and I think that's probably going to be okay for now. So we'll move that to one side and we'll start working on our heart. So we're going to do the same again, and I think we'll go in again with the cinnabar. Again, what I might do is just pop some onto there, and this is going to create a real nice sort of rust effect, because you kind of want it to look rusty and grungy. We don't want it bright red. And if you find like that you've done perhaps maybe a bit too much, just take a little bit of your bandage and just keep dabbing, and it'll just smooth it all out a little bit, and you can spread away. And then I am actually going to go in with espresso next, just to see if we can darken down some of this on here. And you'll see, I'll just show you there, you can see it kind of spilling out into all the sections. And I like to kind of do around the outside as well, because you want to hit those embossed sections. Yeah, this has been sat outside for ages, weathering, and you know, you want it to look nice and weathered and rusty. So I've actually got another another thing, and these are called mixatives, and this is like a, it's got like a metallic mica in there. So I'm just going to add the tiniest amount of that, and then just let that sit, and it kind of gives it that metallic rusty look. And again, I'm going to go in with some actual rust. This is rust, so I'll just pop that onto there like so, and then dab dab dab, and you just want to do some little rust sections. So as you can see, from that quite gaudy red, we've now created something that looks quite old and weathered, like it's been sat outside. So now I'm just going to pop that onto there. And this is a grey, this is called slate. So I'm just going to pop that on, and we'll do a little bit of the verdigris, and hopefully a little cog should be quite dry. In fact, I might leave that. Yeah, I'm going to leave that. I'm very happy with that. So we'll pop that out of the way. Now we can pop in with this one. So again, I'll just pop the tiniest bit of verdigris onto there, and I'll pop some rust. And then I'll go in with a bit of espresso afterwards. So we'll go in with the rust first. Just kind of dabbing and dabbing. So we've got that dabbing like so. Then with your verdigris, just, as I say, you just want to, if you go on too light, too heavy with it, don't worry, we can pop back in a second with our alcohol inks. So I'm just gonna, there we go. As you can see now, it's just starting to look nice and old. You do get messy, unfortunately. That's the only thing with this, but hey ho. Now I'm just going to pop a little bit of our espresso over the top like so. Put the lid back onto that, and then if I show you, you can see how all of these pieces of drinks can have been transformed. So I'm going to pop these out of the way now, and then what we're going to do is inside on here we've got a rose. Now I'm going to show you how to create that with wire. So the wire I've got is just a 0.1 wire, and it's just a copper coloured copper core wire, and I'm just going to take roughly 12 inches, and then we'll just bend that in the center, and then I'm just going to grab my round nose pliers, and we're going to do a little bit of a, this is very tricky, I'm trying to see where I am on the, there we go, and do a little bit of a loop, and that is going to be where we're going to start doing our rose. So again, you don't have to be perfect with this because we want it to look weathered and old and things like that. So we're just going to cross these two over, and I'm just holding the pliers with my other hand, and you're literally just going to cross these two over and twist, and that's how we're going to create our rose. So I just grab my other pliers there because they're slipping a little bit, and that's why I've made that little loop, so then you can now get a good grip and we can just create our wire rose to sit on the top. And again, just keep crossing your two wires over and over as you go round. Just crossing those over as you're twisting. Pop that round. It's only going to be a very small one, this one. And just keep running that around like so. Now then, I'm going to just stop there because now I've got enough for my fingers to hold on to, and we can just follow that round. Now with our tails, just going to run that through one of the loops that we've created at the beginning. So bringing that through, there's one, and we'll flatten everything out in a second, so then it will sit really nicely on our piece. And then all I'm going to do now is just wrap that round on one side. It doesn't have to be too neat, like I say, because this is, we want it to look weathered and tangled. I'm just going to cut that and curl those under like so. So I'm just going to bring that round and then flatten our rose that we've just created. Give it a good squeeze. If you've got a hammer and block, you could probably pop it onto a hammer and block and give it a little bash, or a whammer or something like that. There we go. We want it quite nice and flat because then it's going to stick on our piece there. So now there's a little bit sticking out there. I'm just going to get rid of that. There. And that is going to sit on top of our gear, steering wheel or wheel. Let's give that a good squeeze down. There we go. So now we need to kind of make that look a little bit aged and weathered. So we're going to do the exact same thing again and just pop in with our paints that we've got. So again, just popping the paints on, and these paints are great because they work fantastically, as you can see, with metals. So we can just dab that all over, And then I can go in with our alcohol ink. And I'll probably go in with a little bit of verdigris as well. And I'm just making that all weathered. And if you had bare copper wire, you could do this definitely with bare copper wire because it would just naturally oxidize. Or if you had the liver of sulphur, you could pop it and kind of make that, do it that way. There we go. Right. So that's that bit there, and I'm just going to pop a little bit of verdigris on there just to calm it down a little bit. And then I kind of rubbed it on and then rubbed it off again. So you kind of pop it on like so. There you go. And that is our rose. So then we can stick all of this together. And what I'm using to stick it together is a Gorilla Glue, and it's a clear Gorilla Glue. Now, obviously, this isn't going to set in time, but I just wanted to show you how I would place these all together. So I'm just literally going to pop a little bit of Gorilla Glue onto the surface. Just there. And we can pop on our heart. You can see how it all kind of comes together. So I just sit there a little bit like that. And then pop on some glue onto our steering wheel. Now I'm just going to get a clip because this will probably slip and slide everywhere. So just pop that onto there. If you can see, it's just sliding about a little bit. And then after all of that is dried, you could then add your rose. So hopefully, if I can, quite a generous amount in the center. Then just going to make room for this, then I can pop it down and it won't hopefully go everywhere. And that is this section here. So we've already created this section here now. So as you can see, we are all good to go. So I'm just going to lift that carefully and pop that over onto my side here. So now we can go on to the rest of the project. So I have already gone ahead and cut out my bits and pieces for, well, I've cut them out, but I haven't glued them all together yet. So we can do that together and I can explain where and what I've used. So for the tag, I have used another Tim Holtz die cutting die, and this is the Movers and Shapers tags. I'm not sure whether this one is still in circulation. It probably is, but there's the number. It's 656938. So I've used that to create the tag, and then for the for this tag here, it is another Tim Holtz, and this one is called Arch Frame. So it's just the arch frame, and this is what they actually look like. They're like a proper steel cut die, and they will cut through fabrics, wood and everything. So these are the two things that I've already gone ahead and cut out. So I'm going to cover my tag with some old dictionary page, book page, and I'm going to use some double-sided sticky tape and some glue. So what did I do with my double-sided sticky tape? That is the question. Oh, this is going so well. I tidied up my craft room today. Ah, there we go. That's why. That's why I can't find anything. Okay, so I'm just going to use some double-sided sticky tape. Now, I use this alongside glue as well because I just think it gives a better adhesion. So I'm just going to pop this down like so. I won't do that last bit there, that'll be fine. Then I'm going to get my poke tool and my bone folder, and what I do is I'll just literally just push that down like so, just to flatten the double-sided tape, and then I'm going to lift up the double-sided tape. 1, 2, 3 and 4. She says, come on, this side. There we go. Oops, sorry. There we go. Right. So hopefully I haven't stopped anything then. Right then, so now I'm going to use some glue, and I'm just going to use a glue stick. And I'm just going to glue all over. Now the reason I like doing it this way is because you do get a little bit of movability and a little bit of wiggle time. So we'll just pop that onto there, and then I'm going to pop that down onto my dictionary page. Now I like to leave this side plain because I prefer the craft card look. So I'm now just going to cut around the edge. So we can tidy up the edges in a second. Just going to get rid of all of that. There we go, and we can tidy up the edges in a sec. And go down that way. And then we've got our book page on our tag. Right then, so that's that section. So now I'm going to glue the archway. Now I've already cut out some book page for this, and as you can see on the die here, it kind of leaves this lovely kind of embossed edge. So I've done the same and then just cut round that embossed edge, so then we can pop it, and we've got a little bit of a border. So with this, I am literally just going to pop this on with just some normal glue instead of going in with tape, and pop that all onto there like so. And we want to make sure that we're getting it inside the line there, and then I can smooth that out with my bone folder, making sure then all of the ink, all of the glue is distributed. So now we've got these two sections. Our next section is the moon face. Now I've actually printed my moon faces off, I think it's the Graphics Fairy, and she does free printables on her, or on the website. So I've used my larger moon, so I'm going to go in for the smaller moon. So we'll just cut that little guy out just to keep it consistent. Get rid of that. And then whenever I'm fussy cutting something like this out, you always move the paper, you never move the scissors. I mean, obviously you're closing the scissors, but you don't want to be going around and holding the paper. You want to move the paper and just close the scissors. So you're creating a nice line. So if you're fussy cutting flowers or something like that, then that's perfect. So now we can assemble, and then I've also got a piece of and now I'm not sure what paper pad that came from, but Now then, I just need to test this because I always forget which side is which. Yeah, that's the side I want. So in here, so pop that like so, just to give it a little bit of a tag edge. And that is a We Are Memory Keepers tag. I'm just going to pop that onto there because I will glue that down. I'm going to glue that down onto my tag, purely because it's got hearts on and this is for Valentine's Day. I'm just checking where the hole is, so I'm just going to pop that onto there. Again, use your bone folder, and then I'm going to pop in with our arch. And pop that onto the underside, just there. Oops. Just glue that down on either side there. There we go, nice and tidy. And then we can pop our moon face down on there. So we're getting very close. Obviously it's not going to be exactly the same because the moon faces are a little bit different, and we're waiting for this to dry, but now we can ink everything up and then we can go on to the last section on the underside there. So to ink everything up, I'm going to be using distress inks, and I'm going to use tea dye, and I'm going to use walnut stain. And to ink everything up, I'm using just an old makeup brush. I just like the feel of the makeup brush and the control. And because we've got the glass mat here, we can kind of drag your ink onto the paper. But because we've got the book page anyway, it's going to be quite nice and antiqued anyhow. I'm just going to do this, and we'll go around the edge of our arch. So pop that around the edge of our arch. Just take a little drink. There we go. Just keep popping that around our little moon. And then obviously that's where our motif is going to sit, our heart. So on the underside there, oh actually no, sorry, getting ahead of myself. And now I'm going to go in with walnut stain. Now with the tea dye, I've kind of gone in quite a way, but this way with the antique, no, the, what is this one called, walnut stain, I'm literally just going to drag this around the edge, and you can see it just gives it that little bit more depth and dimension. I'm just going to do that on there as well, just along the side of that arch. It just gives it a nice little bit of dimension. Flip that round. Just bring that in like so. Okay, so now we are going to go on to the little message. Now the little message is a dictionary definition of love, and it is a wooden stamp. I really do not know where I got this. Well, I know where I got it. I got it in a massive bundle of wooden stamps from eBay years and years and years ago, but I don't know who the brand is or what the brand is, but it's just literally the definition of love. So I've already gone ahead and inked that up, inked it up and stamped it. So I'll just go around with a little bit of walnut stain. Like so. And then we'll just put that on like that. Oops. Then I'm going to just pop this onto a piece of black card. Just grab a bit of black card just to outline it. Then we can cut it out and then wrap our wire around it as well. So I just love the fact that you can make lots of textures with bits and pieces that you've got already. Now this isn't cut straight, and that's the way I want it, because we're adding, you know, it's kind of a steampunk-esque feel, kind of gothic. So I'm just going to cut up there. You kind of want to leave about 5mm ish around the edge, just as a little border. And now we can come in with our 0.4 wire that I've actually got prepared already, and I'm just going to unravel that. And I'm going to grab a little bit of double-sided tape, just a tiny bit. I'm going to get the end, and I'm going to pop that just on the end there. So then we've got a little bit more control as to where and what we are doing with our wire. So I'm just going to wrap around higgledy-piggledy. Doesn't have to be neat. Then I'll just take that off there. There we go. Wrap that just around there, and then I'm going to bring that round to the front, and we can just pop that end. I'm just keeping my index finger and my thumb on that there, just so it sits on the corner, and we can just make little, you know, we're always saying try not to get a kink in your wire. Well, today you can. Then bring that round if you want. Bring it round to the back. Pop up between there, and this is literally where you can have your own artistic license and just go for it. Just go for it. And then I'm going to pop that around the back again, and pop a bit more tape just onto that to secure it, like so. Now I'm going to go in with my pliers and just make some twists and turns and crinkle up the wire, make it imperfect, and then leave it like that. So now that can sit on the underside there. Okay, so then we can pop that down with a little bit of glue. I'm going to use some of this glue. This is just a tacky glue, and we can go in with the paper on this one. So I'm just dotting that about. If you wanted to, you can peel off the back of the double-sided tape, but let's pop that down on there. And then I'm going to just lay that onto there. Actually, I might need the Gorilla Glue. I don't think that's going to work. I think I did. Did I put it on with tacky? Oh well. We're putting it on with Gorilla Glue now. So there we go. That can sit onto there. Just pop the lid back on there. In fact, I can get our little motif and I will just glue that down onto there. I've just moved everything, haven't I? So I can pop that just down on here. And I'm going to give a nice, generous bit of glue. Take that off. And you can pop that straight onto there. And then you just let that dry overnight. And then it will stick and it will look like this one. So that's it. That is how I turn kind of like a normal communal garden soda can, drinks can or anything like that into something that you can use as an embellishment and as jewellery, as you saw earlier on. So that is, I just love doing stuff like that, and I love being able to remake and reuse things as well. So I actually thought as well, just a little side note, with this particular die, the Thinlit, I'll just move that out of the way, I wanted to have a go with shrink plastic, and I thought it may keep the emboss when you shrank it, but it doesn't. But I have actually just popped some alcohol ink on here as well. But I mean, obviously it kept the shape, but it just didn't keep the embossing section. So just bring you back up to see me. So thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed it. I'm not sure how often I'm going to do this, probably once, twice a month, and we'll see how it goes. But that was just a little bit of a show and tell, a little bit of a Tinker Tuesday, and we'll see what we can do on the next one. If you've got any ideas, please leave it in the comments below. I will be putting this video up, so if you have missed the live, then you can see it on a replay as well. So if you want to just leave a comment down in the comments, then that would be great. If you'd like to follow me on Instagram, that would be amazing as well. So I'll pop everything, all the description and everything, all in the description afterwards. So thank you so much for being there and watching this and staying with me for the last 45 minutes. I know it's 2 hours, but I think we'll just leave it at that for now, and hopefully next time you can invite your friends and we can have a nice little chat. So I shall see you soon. Have a great evening and stay safe, everyone. Bye.